Well, good morning there. It's Breakfast with the Broker every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Listen, we have, first of all, I'm back from Montana. Fly fishing is a pretty cool thing. If you haven't done it, I highly suggest it. It was really, really great. And it was good to get away for a little bit. And so we have a very special guest. And, as we're looking at kind of specific to Florida, but really across the country, people are looking for different ways to market, right? We've seen all the noise or the articles on Zillow, where Zillow is going ahead and starting to open brokerages and such, or quasi brokerages, if you want to call them that. And people are looking to potentially move their marketing dollars to other places. So where better to do it to get your best ROI than to be on Facebook? And that's what our next guest is going to do. So without further ado, and now, by way of Boca Raton, Florida, she is the director of marketing of RE/MAX Services. She is a Facebook ad extraordinaire. She does a lot of retargeting and such, social media marketer. She is Alex Reichenbach.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I haven't seen Alex in about, I don't know, 8 days or 9 days or something like that. As I'm
Yeah.
going around. So, one of the things that we look at in South Florida specifically is, realtors are really looking for ways to put their marketing dollars. They don't know whether or not to put their marketing dollars in direct mail, whether to buy Zillow leads or Realtor.com leads or Boomtown or Sync or some of these other different platforms. Tell us a little bit about, what Facebook ads do for realtors.
Sure. So, with Facebook specifically, if when you're doing organic posts, like say you want to post something to your Facebook page, unfortunately, with all of the people who are active on Facebook, a very small percentage of your posts are being seen by your audience. So, in order to really set yourself apart and stand out, you have to advertise. And so with they have some new rules going on, but you can actually target the information that you want to promote on Facebook based on so many different things. So with real estate specifically, you can target based on cities. So in South Florida, if you have listings in Delray or Boynton, you can put in that specific location, and then you can target people within a 15-mile radius. And what's even better is you can even narrow down those people on Facebook based on specific interests that they have, based on the activity that they have online. For instance, you can actually target people who have spent time on sites such as Zillow or Realtor.com, Apartments.com. And you can really create great content that these people want to see and then target to those specific people.
So how would a realtor get started? When you're looking at it, it's very I consider myself a pretty relatively tech savvy guy, and I could tell you Facebook ad manager is not necessarily user friendly.
Yes.
The boosting stuff is very easy. They make that easy, but that really isn't worth anything. It really just saying that you boosted.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but the actual targeting and the retargeting and those kind of things, are where the ROI is at. Tell us a little about maybe what would be the first step that you would recommend a realtor to do in order to get involved in this?
Sure. So the first thing you would have to do is create a Facebook business account. And you can do that by going to business.facebook.com. I'm actually going to be running a training on this and how to set up the beginning steps of this on Thursday at noon. But that would be the first step. And it's pretty easy setting up the account. Where it gets a little bit tricky or maybe confusing is when you are setting up your specific campaigns, and then under that you have ad sets and ads. And this is where you have the opportunity to choose what type of ads you really want to run. Facebook has so many different kinds. For instance, you can do ads for the goal of brand awareness, or if you're trying to generate leads, you can do that as well. But like you said, the easy way is to promote posts, which we've been doing for years now, or boosting posts. But you're really not going to see any ROI doing those types of advertising. It's setting it up in the Facebook Business Manager.
Are we able to, in South Florida, let's say we want to promote a listing and we believe that that listing would be, a lot of Northeasterners would like to see it, like maybe New York City or potentially, Pennsylvania or New Jersey or something like that. Are we able to promote that listing in those kind of cities?
Yes, you are. And that can be done when you are creating the ad set portion of your ad.
Awesome. So, what this ad set? I know we talked about a little bit about interest, but when we're looking at ad sets and what would be your advice? I mean, should it be a consistent ad? Should it be, should you, let's say your budget's whatever $100 a week, should you be, doing $100 for 2 days, or should you spread it out a week? What would be your advice to realtors currently viewing?
That's actually a great question. And the way I look at it is looking at it through like the lens of a funnel. So realtors have different types of leads, whether they're cold leads, warm leads, hot leads. When you're referring to a cold lead, you it's someone who hasn't had any experience with your company yet. So creating ads consistently with the goal of brand awareness and really just giving that audience like some content or like some reasons why Remax is different than another agency. So those types of ads I would recommend consistently running at a low price point. So that way you're taking those cold leads and you're warming them up through I don't know, just like giving them the content and establishing your brand as a trustworthy brand and a company that they would want to work with.
Right,
And then
and
when
it
you,
could be, and I'm sorry, and this Breakfast of the Broker isn't just Remax, so I don't want to
oh,
kind
sorry,
of
yes.
pigeonhole it. So it could be Keller Williams, it could be Coldwell Banker, it could be Compass, it could be any of these companies, that are and really, nowadays, people are branding themselves as teams. We recently brought in the Haller Group, the Haller Group team, or the Bulls team, or Petroleum team. All these teams are branding themselves. So obviously you have to comply with the rules that have been stated in the Florida Realtors. But really you want to brand yourself, and you kind of want to have a tagline. It seems like the taglines are pretty creative these days.
Yes, and that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, so it's like really setting yourself apart. And you can do that through the brand awareness ads. And then when you're ready to really hone in on your hot leads, that's when you can create ads at specific times when you feel like the ROI is there. You can create lead generation ads. And that's where you can really see the conversions happen.
That's awesome. And so, we got our ad, we put together, first of all, how do we create our ad? Do we create our ad? How do you create your ad, I should say?
Yeah, so there are many options in the Facebook Business Manager. Some great ones, and I recommend it to anyone. Video is huge right now, especially with COVID. Everyone is spending so much time on social media. So creating some very high quality videos, even just of yourself talking. People love to see the personality behind your company, your team. So you can do different types of ads, and it's actually pretty easy in Business Manager. You can either do a carousel, which is like a rotating images that you can create, or a video, or a single post. And they make it pretty easy to choose that.
And once you create that ad, then you go into your ad set. You choose your specific audience and potentially interests and stuff like that. What where do those go? Like, I mean, in order to get ROI, I would imagine that you would need some kind of landing page or something that, where they click on a link, some action item where, you're going to capture that lead.
Yes. So that's a good question, and people get confused by this. So many people think that a great place to take people would be your website, for instance. But actually, you shouldn't do that just because there are so many different options or like places that people can go. There's like an overload of information. So I would recommend creating a landing page that is specific to the call to action that you have on your Facebook ad. So it makes it very easy for someone to click on your ad and see exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking, if your ad is on, on your listing in Boca Raton or houses, search for houses in Boca Raton, and it sends it to your website where, it just says search, whatever, Florida, people are going to say, no, 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 unfortunately, people no longer have patience and they no longer have tolerance. So
Right.
you need to capture them really, really quickly. And if everything ties in, it's going to work obviously a lot more successfully.
Exactly.
So now that you have your landing page, what would be your suggestions of a landing page? Because a lot of people say, oh, you should, really capture all the information, the email, the phone number, those kind of things. What would be specific to what you think? Let's say we did a promoting a listing, in Boca Raton. What would be your suggestion on a landing page?
Great. So it really depends on what your ad was saying about the listing, but making it as consistent with the ad as possible. And when it comes to copy on a landing page, make it as short as possible, straight to the point, and let them know that you're going to be contacting them within a certain amount of time after filling out this form. And people, like you said, patience, sometimes laziness, they don't want to go through long forms and filling out a bunch of information. So just sticking to the key things like name, phone number, email address, things you absolutely need. And then from there, you can put them into your system and then gradually get more of the information that you need.
Great.
Mhm.
So, looking at Facebook ad targeting and retargeting, it seems like the ROI is significantly better than, let's say, a Google pay-per-click, because, you're going to pay a lot more for Boca Raton real estate than you are, on Google than you are on, on a Facebook kind of interest or ad set.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, listen, I mean, I think it's amazing. I think that people should, kind of, go away from Zillow,
Mhm.
in that, we're looking at, kind of not because Zillow could be a competitor or what have you, really more of because they tend to be somewhat inaccurate in a lot of their things, whether they're putting foreclosures on and or the appearance of what a listing agent is or isn't. Those are the problems that I have with those kind of platforms. So imagine actually owning the rights to your actual marketing, being able to market and gain leads that really you want to be with, especially if you're doing video, you're attracting people that are attracted to your personality. And I think that Facebook ads, especially, we talk about realtors trying to access, potential Northeast. We see a lot more people coming from California and from the Midwest. We're looking to attract those people, and in order to attract those people, coming up with a consistent ad series would be a good thing on Facebook.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many opportunities on Facebook. And even beyond the targeting that we've already discussed, you can do retargeting and target people who have already been to your website, for instance. So there are so many ways that you can reach new prospects. It's great.
Yeah. So if you do have any questions, you can reach Alex. You know, if you want to go ahead and you could post or message us on our Breakfast with the Broker. She'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Also, if you just have questions on creation of content or ads or where to get started and such, a lot of this stuff is on video. A lot of this stuff is on YouTube. A lot of this stuff, that just getting started. And really, the hardest part is just getting started. So we encourage everyone to go out there and really attack the ads that you're doing because listen, these buyers and sellers, right? They need you. And why do they need you? Why do I say that? We have 1.4 million, licensed realtors at the National Association of Realtors, right? 45% of them, I think, I heard, does like 2 deals or less, and might even been 66%, I think, do 3 deals or less. I mean, that's crazy. Like, do you really believe that a buyer or a seller should be with, to use someone that has, does 3 or less deals in a year? I mean, that's crazy. They need you. So, if you write content really well, if you don't write content really well, go on Fiverr or go on, look for a virtual assistant or something like that to help you write that content, so that people are attracted to your personality. And the biggest thing is, listen, get out and just, you got to do it, right? You have to prospect. You have to continue to prospect and, increase and perpetuate professionalism in our industry as well as collaboration. So, Alex, I can't thank you enough for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
How do you think she did? She did pretty good for her first little interview. She was
Thank
a little
you.
nervous, and I kind of threw her in, and she's like, "Really? Do I?"
I know, I'm
But
like, oh
no.
no, but yeah, I'm glad I did.
Awesome. We certainly appreciate it. Listen, Breakfast with a Broker every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Who do we have next week, actually? Do you remember?
We have, I believe,
Hold on.
hold on, is it Lee Brown? That-
Is Lee Brown next week?
I can't, I have to double check, but she
Okay.
is
Well,
coming
we
up.
will.
Yes.
Lee Brown is definitely in October, so we are very, very excited to have her. If you haven't seen Lee Brown, you're not in the real estate business, but if you haven't heard of her, she's got some great books that she's put out there. Tremendous content. She's amazing team. She runs an amazing team, amazing brokerage, and she's just an awesome individual. So we're looking forward to having her. And we have a couple other surprises in October in store for you. So thank you very much. Have a great, great rest of the week. For those that celebrated yesterday, hopefully you had an easy and meaningful fast. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Okay, bye.